So feeling the whole body sitting and feeling the stability of the ground, the contact with the floor, your feet on the floor, your legs on the ground, the mat. And feeling the contact with the cushion or the couch or the chair. And resting on the support that is here. And softening in the belly, softening throughout the back. And letting go, relaxing in the muscles of your chest and your shoulders. Letting the shoulders hang and softening down the arms. Relaxing into your elbows and your forearms. And softening into your wrists and your hands. And feeling down into your fingers, to your fingertips, and your thumbs to your thumb tips. And relaxing also in the neck and the jaw, letting the jaw just hang. And letting go throughout the face, and the forehead and the sides and back of your head. And letting go, softening in the whole of the scalp. And once again, sensing the whole body sitting. And as always, with an allowing attitude, a welcoming attitude toward your own experience, whatever it may be in this moment. So we've been emphasizing the breath and the body as anchor. Of course, this anchor is not something static. The breath is new and fresh in each moment. The unfolding sensations that appear as the body are new and fresh and changing in each moment. But we're letting this breathing process, the felt experience of the breathing process, or the sense of the whole body sitting, be the kind of primary domain of attending, the home base for your attention. Just feeling the flow of sensation from moment to moment as your body naturally breathes in and naturally breathes out. And as we've been saying, like a passenger along for the ride. And this is a shifting of the attention so that it's not just being carried from one thought to another, not purely existing in thought worlds. It has a place to land in the body, to abide, a place that's not in the domain of the ups and downs and ins and outs of our rapidly changing stories and um, agendas and mental frameworks. So tuning to the breathing brings some stability into the system. It allows the mind and the body and then the nervous system to calm down a bit, to start to quiet down. So as you sit here, letting your task be radically simple, just to feel the breath, the sensations of the breathing that are happening right now. Just this breath. Even just the phase of the breath that's happening right now. And letting this be enough. Feeling the swell of the in-breath. And feeling the natural softening, letting go in the out-breath. And seeing if you can stay awake, aware in the transitions between breaths in a relaxed way. Of course, while you're featuring the breathing, letting everything else happen in the background. There's an open-hearted allowing of experience while having a home base, while having an anchor or a reference place in the midst of it all. You could stay with this way of practicing, just primarily with the breathing, letting everything else be in the background, and then noticing uh, when you lose touch with the breathing and are in some mind world or thought world, observing the scenes in the mind, turning toward it and watching the images or the scenes, listening, to the dialogue, the narrative, the story, and finding the breath again. And when there's a little stability in presence and awareness, you can, of course, then just breathe with the flow of experience, having the breathing be a kind of a stabilizing element, a support for attention, for presence, for awareness. As you breathe with sounds and thoughts and sensations, the free play of experience in the mind and the body and through the senses. And breathing in, aware with breathing in, and breathing out, aware with breathing out. And feeling the breath wherever it's vivid or kind of easiest to feel in the body. We stabilize our attention with the breathing. But awareness is already here, vast and inclusive, the ground of all your experience and everything that's arising. In that sense, awareness is vast like space, like the space in which everything happens. So even as you have the breathing as an anchor or the sense of the body sitting, you might notice this, that there's room here for whatever it is that arises in the field of experience. And so much of the tension, the internal tension, comes from opposing what's arising within the field of our own mind and body, from being in an antagonistic relationship to it, or trying to kind of increase certain aspects of what's here. And seeing if you can just allow what's arising within you, the thoughts, the sensations, the feelings, just letting them all come and go, arise and pass on their own. Letting the breathing kind of support you in staying steady with this uh, unfolding field of experience. And of course, the awareness is the stillness in which it's all happening. The awareness isn't coming and going, even as the objects of the sense objects and the mind objects arise and pass and move and change due to conditions. Good morning. I'm going to just give a little practice encouragement for the weekend. And also someone mentioned that this is the last time that this appears on the automatic calendar, but we will update the calendar so that the morning meditations will continue in the next weeks. So there's a phrase in the teachings, which is from the kind of the early Buddhist tradition, where they talk about practicing at the point of contact. So it's a way of talking about how we're contacted by experience in the moment through the senses, right? So there's contact or seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and the body is kind of contact and touch. And then in kind of the Buddhist psychology, the mind is considered a sense. So we can be contacted by thought or perception. That's a kind of arising, just like your contact to the senses. It's actually quite true to experience, right? Is that something appears in the mind, a thought appears in the mind, and that's a kind of contact. Although we don't usually notice that or think about it that way. So this is a bit of a subtle aspect, and so don't feel like you need to see this super clearly or have some idea of how you should see it, but it could be very interesting to notice over the weekend, and just bring interest to this aspect of how a lot of your experience depends on what's appearing in the mind in a given moment. Yeah, what's arising, what you're being contacted by in the mind, what thought appears. And maybe from the sitting, you're noticing that you don't, that thoughts do arise like sounds. They kind of come to you. You don't decide which ones to have, right? And so that aspect of meeting the thought that's appearing with awareness just brings a tremendously new relationship to the domain of thinking. Now, so this isn't just for sitting meditation. This is also through moving through your day. You read something and then you start having thoughts about it. That's not a problem or wrong, but it's good to notice that. So often there's a kind of a recency bias in terms of what you happen to be thinking about, and it shapes the way you're seeing and feeling and experiencing. So just be an interesting way for you to practice over the weekend, and just have as an ongoing inquiry, noticing what it's like to practice at the place of contact, both in terms of you see something and there's like feelings in the body, contact and sensation. You hear something, you're hearing it, and then there's contact and sensation. Yeah. And also in terms of the mind, right? Something appears in the mind, a perception, a thought, and then there's also a constellation of feeling that comes with it in the body. And if that gets too complicated and confusing, just stay present. Okay. Anyway, I wish you well, and see you soon. And if you have looks like there's a raised hand or a question, you can put it in I'll stay here for a moment or two, and you could put it in the chat or in the Q&A if you have a question. Okay, be well.